The alien city gleamed under twin suns, a labyrinth of towers, glass, and metal that reflected the wealth and decadence of a civilization older than Earth itself. Markets teemed with exotic creatures and rare artifacts, the air thick with the scent of spices, ozone, and ambition. In the heart of the city, in a shadowed chamber of a private casino, the old alien shuffled his cards with a nervous precision. He was a figure of power and reputation, yet tonight, he was a man gripped by desperation. Before him lay a table, not unlike those in countless gambling dens across galaxies, except the stakes were far higher than mere credits. He had wagered his most prized possession, his daughter, a warrior princess whose beauty and strength had been renowned throughout the sector. Her eyes, a pale silver, betrayed neither fear nor excitement as she stood silently behind the table, waiting for the game's outcome. Across from him sat a human, tall, confident, and calculating. He had wandered through the stars, driven by survival and audacity, carrying the weight of a past riddled with battles and scars. His eyes met the alien's, steady and unflinching, and the room seemed to shrink around the tension between them. The dice rolled, cards flipped, and the air crackled with anticipation as the game teetered on the edge of fate. Then came the decisive moment. The human's hand revealed a combination impossible to beat. Gasps echoed through the room. The alien's face twisted in disbelief, rage, and resignation. "It cannot be," he hissed. This is impossible." The human, calm and resolute, met the alien's gaze. "The game is finished. You gambled, and I have won. She belongs to me now." The daughter's expression shifted subtly, a mixture of curiosity, defiance, and amusement. She stepped forward, the subtle sound of her boots against the polished floor a testament to her training and discipline. "So it is done," she said quietly. "Then I suppose I have no choice but to follow the victor." The alien's anger flared, but he could do nothing. In this civilization, wagers of this nature were binding, enforced by law and honor. His daughter would go with the human, and there was no recourse. He slammed the cards onto the table, a gesture of futile defeat, and turned away, hiding the anguish in his long, scarred features. Outside, the human and the princess exited the casino into the city's chaos. Traders, mercenaries, and wanderers moved like currents through the streets, oblivious to the cosmic wager that had just taken place. She turned to him, her eyes narrowing. "I am not a prize," she said sharply. "Do not mistake this for consent." He inclined his head respectfully. "I do not intend to claim you as a prize," he said. "I intend to survive, and you will survive with me. That is all." Her lips curved into a faint smirk. "Few humans survive the trials I have endured. Her whip left scars across my flesh, yet here I stand. Do you understand what you have won?" "I do," he replied, touching the hilt of his blade. "I have seen death. I have endured battles that would crush others. And I know that surviving you, or alongside you, is a challenge I accept." They traveled across deserts, through derelict planets, and past space stations ravaged by wars he had only heard of in whispers. Her scars were constant reminders of the queen who had ruled with cruelty, her whip carving lessons of pain and obedience into the flesh of anyone who dared oppose her. Yet for all her torment, she had survived. And now, she survived beside him. At night, in the quiet moments when stars reflected on the hull of their ship, she would recount the horrors of the queen's reign, the merciless punishments, the fallen warriors, the screams that haunted the corridors of her mind. Each story was a revelation, a testament to the indomitable will of those who refused to yield. And through it all, he listened, learning, understanding, and silently swearing that he would ensure her pain had meaning. Days turned into weeks, and their bond grew, not of love, but of mutual respect, survival, and recognition. She was the last of her line in more ways than one, and he was the only human to endure what few could face. Together, they navigated the treacherous politics of alien worlds, escaping mercenary hunts, corrupt rulers, and remnants of the ruthless queen's reach. Each encounter tested them, but neither faltered. One evening, as they watched a dying sun paint the horizon in crimson and gold, she turned to him. "You know," she said softly, "most would not have survived the Queen's trials. Most would have died in despair or fear." "I am not most," he replied. "I have scars, yes, but I carry them as reminders. You carry yours, and they have made you stronger. Together, we endure." She studied him, her gaze assessing, measuring the weight of his words and the truth within them. "Perhaps," she murmured, "I underestimated humans. You survive in ways I did not anticipate. You do not break, even under impossible odds." Their journey continued, each day a testament to resilience. The Queen's cruelty still lingered in their minds, a shadow over victories and escapes, yet it could not touch the bond forged in survival. The whip had left scars, but it had not broken them. Each scar, each memory, each narrow escape was proof of endurance and defiance. Eventually, they reached a planet where the sun glimmered through alien trees, where the air was clean, and the cities held the promise of anonymity and peace. There, the human and the princess paused, understanding that the trials behind them had forged more than endurance. They had forged trust, recognition, and the unspoken knowledge that survival was never solitary. The old alien, long left behind, remained a figure of regret and despair, but it mattered little. The human had won, not just the princess, but the knowledge that humanity could survive where even the cruelest power failed. And the princess, once a prisoner of scars and pain, now walked alongside him as an equal, both survivors in a universe that respected strength, resilience, and courage. At last, under twin suns that reflected their shared triumphs, the princess turned to the human and said quietly, "You have endured, and I have endured. Together, we are more than survivors. We are proof that even in a world ruled by cruelty, the human spirit can prevail." He nodded, his hand brushing over the hilt of his blade. "Then let us continue," he said. "Not as master and prize, but as survivors, unbroken, unyielding, and free." The stars above witnessed their journey, marking the beginning of a legend that would echo across galaxies. The whip had left scars, the Queen's cruelty had left its mark, but they had survived, and survival was only the beginning.